continue to wait for the news conference by Benjamin Crump and the attorneys for the Floyd family. The family has just now released the results of an independent autopsy on George Floyd, showing that Floyd died, quote, as a result of a homicide caused by asphyxia due to neck and back compression that led to a lack of blood flow to the brain, end quote. That is different from the state autopsy performed last week that revealed no findings that asphyxia was the cause of death. Joining our conversation is Paul Henderson. He is the executive director of the San Francisco Department of Police Accountability. He's also a former U.S. attorney. Paul, my first question for you is, this is now a criminal matter. The police officer who killed Mr. Floyd is now been charged with second and third degree murder. How do the two autopsies play into that criminal proceeding?
It plays hugely. Just as a clarification, I was a prosecutor here, not a U.S. attorney, but it's a very similar role. But this really shines a glaring spotlight on the fact that we can't, and communities have not been able to rely on local analysis. And it doesn't make sense that the scientific analysis, which should be objective, seems to be at odds in this case. And it only confirms that there may be a separate track of justice for law enforcement when we look at wrongdoing versus the rest of the community. The fact that we have an independent autopsy indicating a supporting of asphyxia as the cause of death, as if there were real questions from what we all saw in the video, it seems very ominous and probably did not help what the situation was in Minneapolis when the report came out in the first place that's saying that there was no direct link or cause to asphyxia for the cause of death. And instead, we heard all of this other information about underlying things that could have caused the death, while that seems to fly in the face of what we all saw in the video. The bigger problem is, now that that case has not been challenged adequately from the community, we see the case has been removed and presented to the Attorney General's office of the state. And I think this is part of the problem and part of why communities are so frustrated and lashing out in the protests, lashing out in riots, lashing out in all of the gatherings that they have, because we can't wait for other agencies to come in. Some of these solutions have to start at a local level, and we have to ask these very difficult questions about what are the decisions that are being made at a local level in our own communities. We have to bring that to the forefront. This whole autopsy coming forward is only shining the light on why we're having so many problems relying on the justice system that needs to be fixed, and communities are demanding that that happen right now.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.